been muted this entire fucking time, and I didn't even realize it. I've been talking to y'all, like trying to figure out the window and everything. Oh my lord! See, already the start. We're starting off here, and we're starting strong. Already, the main villain, my own incompetence, has gotten a hold of us here. So, all right. So, I am going to be making a 2D game following the Godot tutorial to kind of learn this. It is called Dodge the Creeps, I guess is the one that we're going to be playing. And hopefully I plan to take this and learn from it, evolve and grow, and take it into making our own game. I'm hoping to make a platformer maybe with y'all. It would be really cool if I could make something more involved with my community. But in the short term, after we get these tutorials done and get some of this under our belt and stuff, I think my next game will be a platform with you guys until we get big enough and we have an idea. All right. So I've already downloaded the assets, so the art and the fonts for this. According to the guide on the documentation, it's saying that I need to then adjust the project window settings. Let's go to scene. Let's go to hang on. I need to go to project settings. Here we go. Then I need to go to window, viewport width 480 by 720 as it's meant to be in portrait mode. Also, under the stretch options, we need to set the mode to canvas items and aspect to keep. Yep. Cool. Close that. All right. File system time. Y'all won't be able to see what I'm doing here. All right, so I was just going through giving me a brief rundown. I have kind of this. I was trying to do an idle game on my own, and I botched that so horribly. So, my goal for this stream series, Learning of Godot, is that I won't have to face that demon. This time I'll have learned my lessons, and I won't need to go into Get Kraken, which I'm mildly familiar with. And, roll back. So like I had to do in the other one. That was a process I don't care to wish to do again. All right. Interesting. User contributed notes are always an interesting read. Interesting. Cool. All right. Now we're going to create a player scene here. Sorry, I am. I'm gonna be truly honest with y'all. I am a little apprehensive of following this guide. Not that I think it's gonna be bad or anything, it's just majority of my coding experience is a little bit of Python, a little bit of or a lot more of HTML and CSS, as you guys saw. Well, if you were here for the first stream, you saw it there. I've got some JavaScript experience. I have SQL, but I hate it. I hate it. SQL. I mean, I hate all database languages, to be truly honest with you. Python, I think, is the only one that you can use as a database language that I don't already hate. Oh, it needs to be in 2D mode. There we go. I have a little bit of C++ and C#. No, just C++ and C#. So we'll see where this goes. I've mucked around with GDScript, but I was following a guide pretty seriously and was the sole focus on not learning it, but actually like just making the finished product. So, all right. And to the bigger scope of this, like my goal with this is to not necessarily, all right, hang on. We need to choose a root node for the player object. Is it, area 2D. Let me get to this first before I go on my tangent. Area 2D. Let me figure out what area 2D it looks like. All right. Area 2D, there we go. Something stuck with me. How to search that for certain aspects, for certain nodes. Hang on, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry, my sneezes are really loud and I didn't want to do that to you guys. The greater goal of this is to learn Godot because I really like it. It's open source engine. I like that I'm not gonna have to pay for, like, if I start making a game and it gets popular, I'm not gonna have to pay per download on you guys. So you guys supporting the game, playing the game, testing it out isn't gonna count against me for development purposes. And I've heard some great things. In fact, actually, last I checked, a game I've been following development of that I'm really excited for, Road to Vladivostok, I think I pronounced that right, Vladivostok, is being ported over everything from Unreal, I think it was, that really pissed people off, Unreal or Unity, one of the two, and they are making the game in Godot last time I checked, so entirely in Godot. I think they have a beta out on their, or a demo on Steam still. It's looking really good. No, that wasn't sponsored or paid, and I've only ever played the demo. God, I would love to be able to work with them on the game, though. Looks like a really cool game. Think single player Tarkov, but kind of like survival horror, from what I gathered. Pretty cool looking. All right. Node configuration warning. Has no shape, so it can't collide or interact with other objects. Consider adding collision shape 2D or collision polygon 2D. You guys can't see that. That's problematic. Nope, that's not gonna work. Shoot. Why did it work that one time? Let me, I guess, remove it and then re-add it. Oh. Oh, that's why. There we go. My apologies, folks. Um, that is larger than I intended for it to be. There we go. And I guess maybe I add another one to capture. We'll see if this works. Y'all can't even see what that is, can you? Alright, well, I tried. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I've got a, you know what? Maybe this will be easier. Hang on a second. I don't normally like to do this, but we'll see here. All right, that I guess will work too. We'll turn off the Godot in the background. Godot. Guess I could do it like this. I'll have to figure out something else to fill in that gap space there for y'all. Okay, so it's saying node has no shape, so it can't collide or interact with other objects. So I should add a collision 2D per collision 2D polygon as a child to define its shape. Okay, so it's telling me in this instance we can ignore the warning because we'll be setting up the player's visuals using an animated sprite. Okay, once the visuals are ready, we'll add a collision shape to the child node. Okay. Change the node's name to player. Now that we've set the scene's root node, we can add additional nodes to give it more functionality. Before we add any children to it, though, it wants me to make sure I don't accidentally move or resize them by clicking on them. So select the node and click on the icon to the right of the lock. Its tooltip says groups the selected nodes with its children. Got it. This causes the parent to be selected when any child node is clicked in the 2D and 3D view. Gotcha. Click scene. Alright, so hit Control S. And we're going to save it as player. Yep, save. Cool. What is Pascal case? I'm used to camel case, so let me look this up real quickly. So that's Python. Ugh. I prefer camel case, where the first letter is lowercase, and then every word after that isn't separated by a space, but separated by a capital. So, hang on a second. I'll throw it up here real quickly. So I prefer something that looks like this. Variable 1. Hang on a second. 2C2 F4A. God, that's gigantic. All right, here we go. We're just gonna put a little space there. So that's how I prefer to have my naming conventions. It's something I got used to when I was doing. I've been taught it in JavaScript. It's what I learned in PHP. That's another one that I kind of am familiar with. I used to be really good at PHP when I first tried doing this almost 10 years ago. At the time, I wanted to go for computer science. Software engineering is definitely where I want to be. I don't want the theoretics. I want, or most of the theoretics. I want the coding. Anyway, but Pascal case is variable 1. So, just a thing. I'll hit save and just, you know, I can pop that up later if we need it. All right. So, my thinking process for this, actually, here we go. All right. Now we're gonna go to the sprite animation. So I can click on the player node, clicked, and add. Oh, Control A is add. Not sure how I like that, but you know, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. And then we're gonna add a animated sprite 2D. Huh. It's really cool. The sprite 2D will handle the appearance and animations for the player. Requires a sprite frames resource, which is a list of animations it can display. Right, you select it and then find the sprite frames property under the animation section and the inspector. Over here. Sprite frames. Wait. There we go, sprite frames. And then click the empty new sprite frames. Okay. Click on the sprite frames I just created. Okay, so here's our sprite frames panel, I guess. List of animations, click on the default, done. To walk, all right. And then click the add animation. Right there, there we go. Called up. Find the player images. Okay, so they're in the art folder. All right. An animation frame side of the panel. Player gray. So in walk we do. For the walk animation, we do player gray walk 1 and 2. Walk 1 and 2. And then for up, we do up 1 and up 2. Cool. This is actually, I kind of like this. Like, getting to know this and get the drag and drop stuff. I don't have to. It's actually really nice. I like drag and drops a lot. All right. The player images are a bit too large for the game window. No kidding. So we need to scale them down. Click on the animated sprite spirit 2D node. I set the scale property under transform. Scale to 0.5.5. Okay. Now, finally add a collision 2D. So, child node. Oh, I could have done Control A. That's literally what we were just taught. And so now I'm going to do collision, shape 2D, Shape 2D? Yeah, shape 2D. Create that. This will determine the player's hitbox. Okay. For this character, a capsule shape 2D node gives the best fit. So next to shape, inspector, click empty, new capsule shape 2D. That wasn't what I wanted. Holy goodness, I did not want that much zoom. Alright, so now I'm supposed to using two handle sizes, resize it to fit the character. Okay. I'm gonna have to remember how to do the quick. The controls up and down. Alt, zoom in and out. All right. Cool. I think that's a pretty good hitbox. When you're finished, your player should look like this. Gotcha. Once this is done, the warning on the area 2D node will vanish. Yep. All right, and now we hit Control S to save the scene. Ta-da! We've made ourselves a character sprite. Cool. All right, so next up we get to code the animation. All right. To do so, we'll need to have some functionality. So we'll add a script. So scripts are for those that you can't get from a built-in function, from a built-in node. So we're gonna go in here, add a script, attach the script button. All right, I can leave this alone. Okay, great. Cool. Oh, they have C#. And so I guess if you were familiar with Unity, you could use C# too. All right. Why does it tell me? Interesting. So it's an imperative language. Interesting. Oh, cool. Reading through the language features is a little interesting, but not the point of this one, right? Right. So, doing here? Where is it? Where is it? All right. It's still from that same. Honestly, Slaps is a pretty good album. Yeah, I'm adding it. Let's go. All right. Okay. So at export. Okay. So export is just a keyword. So it's kind of well, in Python, which I just finished last term, it's not module. Module? Let me actually double check that. I don't think it is module. Lord, I have a lot of notes in here and they were not. Yeah, it is a module. I was right. Oh, let's fucking go. Yeah, so it's like importing modules. Use export, I guess. Similarly, maybe. I could be wrong. But, alright, so the variable is going to be speed. That's the rate at which the player moves. And we're going to set that to 400 per the guide. Comment here. Okay. And then we'll do the variable screen size is going to be our other variable, and that we'll just note this because part of a good thing. Some of you might have missed that considering the VOD didn't save. I wasn't able to stream it to YouTube, therefore it was entirely missed. But notation, documentation is pretty nice. It's pretty easy. It's my philosophy that you should always notate what you're doing, where you're going, what your thought processes are. Similar to how a streamer kind of blabbles on, like me. But yeah. So it helps you come back and sit there and go, okay, this is what I was doing with my code. This is, where I was last working on, what thoughts I had on this. And notes don't have to just be in the code. Like if you're doing notes like on something you're building on the side and the code's part of it, you can do notes in the code like C note from whatever, or if you have like a certain section, C notes in the section, whatever. You can do it that way, but it's nice. It keeps it clean, helps you figure out where you were last time, helps other people work on it if you're working in a team. And Dondi, the instructor who taught me PHP, would probably have a conniption fit, or we could probably go circles in it. I remember one of his early lessons was, I'm going to teach you how to do the coding the right way, because everyone wants the coding to look pretty. But if you want job security, don't make your coding look nice, because then they can't fire you, because no one else can figure out what the hell your code does. And it's probably not as true today. I mean, that was 11 years ago that he told me that, but today You could probably plug it into AI and it would parse it out for you, you know, but it would figure it out for you, translate it for you. But I guarantee you make messy code and you put that in your portfolio or your projects to show a potential employer, and they're not going to want to hire you. I haven't even worked in the industry, and I know that I wouldn't hire someone who I can't look at their code and at least get some idea what they're doing. They don't have any notes, they don't have any comments, or they don't have any comments in the code, not necessarily notes, but no comments in the code. It's sloppy. They put multiple lines on a single line. No. I wouldn't hire them. And that's not to say that they're bad at it, it's that they're going to make everything a living headache for every one of their coworkers. Like, you have a team, you're supposed to work as a team. This isn't some mega company that, you know, I don't know. I just think making a messy code as a way to try and preserve your job is a horrible way to go around it. Or go about it, I should say. All right. Enough of me blabbling. Back on to our journey. Using the export keyword. Yep. Player node, and you'll see the property. Ah, there we go. There's a script and there's a property. Speed. So if I change it here, it overwrites it here. Gotcha. Oh. Whoops. I didn't pay attention to the default node template portion. Oops. So I have to like they said that you can just click and run, and I didn't think to check that, but if I didn't create the ready and process functions, I need to make these functions now. So the ready function is called when the node enters the scene tree, which is a good time to find the size of the game window. So we're going to set it up here. We're going to go all right. So we're going to define our function. There's actually something I want to go look at real quickly. It's nothing to do with what we're doing here. It is everything to do with what we're doing over here. Oh, interesting. I was checking out the documentation real quickly for the coding, and they mentioned they used to use Python and Lua. Neither of them were great for it, so they created a dedicated language that it didn't require any extra work on their end to integrate it, and now they can, you know, curate it specifically to game developers. Oh, interesting. You can use multiple languages in this. For a team, you can code gameplay logic in GDScript as it's fast to write, and use C# or C++ to implement complex algorithms and maximize their performance. Interesting. All right. Cool. All right. So functions are named with an underscore first, I guess. And then we're going to call it ready void. But we're not going to give it void because that means there's nothing there, right? We're going to go screen size equals get viewport rect dot size. Cool. All right, so now we're going to use the process function. It'll be called every frame, and we'll use it to upload. I'll be using it to update elements of the game, which are the elements, or rather, that are going to change fairly frequently. We'll use it to update those. So it'll need to check for the input, moved in the given direction, and then play the appropriate animation. Okay. Is the player pressing a key? For this game, we have 4 directional inputs to check. Input actions will be defined. Ooh, there's an input map. Okay. We'll map the arrow keys. So if we go to, I guess we're done there, because I don't know how else to close it. There's no like. Oh, hang on. That's why. There we go. Details matter. So I'm going to quickly hit save. And then we're going to go to project and project settings, input map. I'm actually curious. I know I have version control somewhere, I know I can do it somewhere in there. All right. I will, at the end here, we'll do the version control piece. I'll figure out the version control. How to add it again. All right. And click on the input map at the top. Move right. Move underscore right. And then hit the add button. Then we hit the plus to do the icon, and then we go to keyboard buttons, the right key right there. We're gonna add, nope, it's only gonna do that one. Now we're gonna add a new one. Move right, which left, move down, or I guess move up. Do up first, so right, left, up, and then move. Keyboard keys left, keyboard keys up, and then down. All right, I'm just, it doesn't matter in the long term, most likely, but I'm doing it to match what they have on their input. All right, click close to project settings. Cool, you can actually map multiple things to the same input action. All right. So we're going to do function, function, process delta and we're going to add a variable, local variable velocity, which is going to be vector2 dot 0 and then you can detect whether the key is pressed using input is action, which returns true if pressed or false if it isn't. Okay, it's a simple boolean. Is it pressed or is it not? So now we'll add some nested ifs, or not nested, but some if statements in here. If input dot is action pressed, and we have to put it in quotes, move right, dot x plus equals, which means we're adding 1 to it. Plus equals in Python. Actually, there's a lot of languages. I think it's Python and JavaScript. I think JavaScript will allow you to do plus plus though, like I plus plus. But I know Python is plus equals 1, which is probably partly where they got this from, was Python, other object and things like that. If input dot is action pressed, move left. If input we'll just put these down real quickly. Move down. If input action pressed all right. Velocity dot x is we're gonna do minus equals 1. So what that has done is, instead of, how do I put this, instead of determining which direction, or like determining, you know, a specific direction, which is almost impossible now that I think about it. Instead of determining number of units left specifically, it's hard. They're taking the x-axis. So like, let's say this right here, right? This line, this highlighted line would be our x-axis. And so they're taking it basically, if this is 1 and you press right, you move right 1. Or if you press left, you subtract 1. So you go -1 from your starting point. And that's how they're doing that, which makes sense. Yeah, it does. I don't know why in my head I was like velocity velocity left, velocity right. Like, I don't know why I thought that, but no, this makes entire sense. And this is going to be y. I knew it. 1. And then we're going to do the same down here, but it's going to be velocity dot y going to be minus equals 1. and then we're going to do if velocity dot length is greater than 0, velocity equals velocity dot normalized times speed. And then we need to do a $sign. Oh, the velocity dot 0 actually makes sense. It's setting the velocities or the player's position to 0, 0 for total direction. For example, if you hold right and down at the same time, the resulting velocity would be velocity vector would be 1, 1. So it was what, right and down. So yeah, up +1 would move it down, plus right would move it right. Since those are both +1s instead of minuses, that would be 1, 1. Okay, so if this is why we're doing the normalize. If they're adding horizontal and vertical, since we're adding horizontal and vertical movement, the player would move faster diagonally than if they just moved horizontally, which is prevented if we normalize the velocity. Oh, hi, Toofy. What's up, baby boy? Coming to see what Dad's coding? Which set its length to 1 and then multiply it by the desired speed. This means no more overly fast diagonal movement. Oh, hang on. They even have a thing on vector math for this. I am going to save that one because I might need to come back to vector math for stuff down the road we may make. It'd be kind of cool if we could maybe program or create our own. What's the one where the ships, where your ship sits on the bottom, you shoot things and you have to dodge enemies? Or try and cut it before it reaches bottom? I don't remember what it's called. Galactica or something like that? I don't know. Alright. So let me check whether the player is moving, and we call via player stop. $sign is shorthand for get node. Oh. So the dollar, what I'm about to type in here, which is actually $sign animated sprite 2D dot play, is actually the equivalent of a get node, and then you put animated sprite 2D in parentheses. So that is the same as get node animated sprite 2D dot play. They're the same thing. This is just, this little piece right here is shorthand. Cool, good to know. It's actually really handy too. You're not sitting there having to remember, you know, getting a node. You don't have to remember the get node part. You can just quickly, just makes things faster. I'm rambling here, but $sign returns the node at the relative path from the current node, or returns null if the node is not found. Since animated sprite 2D is a child of the current node, we can use that $sign to call for it. Okay, let me look at the other code. And then we do our else statement. Else animated sprite 2D dot stop. Cool. So basically, if the velocity length is greater than 1, we animate it. If it's less than 1, then we stop it. I think. Doesn't quite make sense here, but hang on. Okay, check to see whether the player is moving, call a player stop. So is the player moving this one? We check it if the velocity length is greater than 0. Otherwise, we check to see if it's actively moving in that one. Now we go through and we're going to add a clamp to it to make sure that it doesn't leave the screen. So position plus equals velocity times delta position equals position dot clamp clamp vector 2 dot 0 ring size. Oh, so we're telling it we're restricting we're telling it that it's restricted to the spawn point 00 and the size of the screen. Okay, so the delta parameter up here refers to the frame length, the amount of time that the previous frame took to complete. Oh, so it ensures that the movement will remain consistent even if the frame rate changes. Still okay, hang on. I'll have to check that out as to why the play checks after it would be. I think it would do that, and then that, but okay. I mean, it's whatever. Hang on one sec. Okay. So now we've added the clamp to keep you on the player on the screen. Now we're gonna go to run current scene. Hey, we're working. Yeah. Cool. All right. So now we need to change it because, oh yeah, if we ran that, I don't know if y'all realized. Up, or up and down, and left and right all have the same animation, I guess. So we have the walk animation, which shows the player walking to the right. This animation should be flipped horizontally using the flip H property for left moving. We also have the up animation, which should be flipped vertically with the flip V for downward movement. All right, so now we're going to place that at the end of the function. again. If the velocity, if the velocity dot x is not equal to 0, then we're asking it to grab the get node, sprite 2D dot animation equals walk we're missing something. Why do I accidentally there we go. I accidentally pulled it all the way back here to what I call like the home tree, which isn't true. It belongs in the function. Downside to this, if you have, for example, I'm going to just throw here parentheses like that, and you can do like that, then you know that they're all in the same code, if you will. And so that helps find that, but we just got to check these arrows. Basically, the moment this hits until I enter a new function here, I need to have that arrow before every statement inside of a function. So walk, and then we're asking it to grab the node again. Animate sprite 2D dot flip vertically equals false. All right. Hang on. Flip horizontally for 8, flip H, flip vertically with flip V. Trying to understand this note here, so bear with me here. Like, so it says the Boolean assignments in the code above are common shorthand for programs. Yeah, I'm fairly aware with it. Since we're doing a comparison test, the Boolean and assigning a Boolean value, we can do both at the same time. It's actually a damn fine question. What did I name the animation? Walk was underscore. Okay. Because they made an important message here, and that is that you have to make sure that the animation names match the names you used. The part that has me confused here. Well, if, again, another Python holdover. Velocity of y does not equal 0. the animated sprite animation should equal up. And then once again, the animated sprite dot flip v. Oh, I forgot the other part on this one. Those animated. Ooh. Dot flip h happens if the velocity on the x plane of travel is less than 0. So if it's -1, you flip it horizontally. Flip vertical. Flip vertical is equal to the velocity of y being greater than 0. All right, so let's check this out. Let's see. So if the x velocity, or if the velocity of x, so traveling to the right, is greater than 0, you do the walk animation. You do not flip it vertically, but you flip it horizontally. So you flip it horizontally, so you reflect it the reverse way if the velocity is less than 0 along the x plane, which is your moving left. So it takes this and it flips it 90 degrees, so that, like, the dots over here and all that stuff. Okay. Then if the velocity of y is does not equal 0, then the animation up plays. And if the velocity is greater than y, it flips it. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Oh, no, it does, because greater is down and this is looking up. Gotcha. All right. So let's see. Run scene. Oh, that's really cool. That is some simplistic programming that's actually really, really cool. Like, I like that. Like, in terms of stuff I've run and I've done in this, I like controlling that. I'm gonna say real quick, get let my cat out of my room. All right, Tiffy. Nope. Did it again. Damn it. All right. Kid. Dokley. All right, that's another one to ban. Give me a moment. I gotta figure out how to do that all over again. Maybe do it here. Go to mod view. Nope, that's not going to work. They changed this window again and show mod icons. There we go. There we go. Cool. Cool. We don't do none of that view botting and BS here. All right. All right. animations are working correctly, so add the line to ready. All right, so we have it. Real quickly, let's save. Let's run it one more time. All right, we're in the middle here. Animation left, or right, left, up, down. Cool. Now we're going to add a line to the ready. So the player will be hidden when the game starts. We're going to add hide. It's actually going pretty quickly. Now we'll run the scene. Alright, so I guess we don't get to have that yet because of the hide thing. Alright, Alright, so we're preparing for the collisions now. So while we don't have any enemies made yet, we're going to use there's a signal function in Godot to make it work. So after it extends area here, we're to add signal hit. All right. So now we have a custom signal called hit. So we'll use the area 2D to detect collision. Alright, so there's a custom signal that our player emits or sends out when it collides with an enemy, and that we're using the area 2D to detect that. Select the player node. Click the node tab. We see our custom one appear. So, alright. Since our enemies are going to be rigid bodies, we want to use the body entered body 2D node, right? Click the connect button. Oh, there we go. Connect. And connect this. Connect. Godot will create a function that will name it with that exact name directly in the script for you. I don't need to change any of the default settings right now. Cool. Actually, it was really cool there. You okay, Toofy? Hi, puppy. All right. Sorry, I got distracted by watching my cat. Hi, buddy. What you doing? Come here. No, you'd rather look outside on the cat. Got it. So the green icon indicating that a signal is connected to this function. It does not mean that the function exists, only that the signal will attempt to connect to the function with that name. Okay. Now we're going to add some code. Hide. And then hit dot emit. And there's our note, indicating the player disappears after being hit there. Is this even big enough for y'all to see? I think that'll sort of come together. There we go. I think. For now, anyway. Hang on, I'm going to test the chat real quickly. Test. Appears there, it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Now it appears. Alright. Might just make that a blank text box. There are some adjustments I need to make to this UI. Alright. Okay. Sorry. Kind of zoned out there for me. Alright, so this is apparently a physics callback, and what I just typed out in the note is that we can't change the properties on a physics callback like we can or we have to change it also, excuse me. God, I'm tired today. I apologize, guys. And then we go here. Relationship 2D dot set deferred. Set deferred. True. So each time that an enemy hits a player, the signal is going to be emitted. Then you disable the player's collision so that we don't trigger the hit signal more than once. Okay, the set deferred tells Godot to wait to disable the shape until it's safe to do so. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Holy crap. I took my meds and it normally doesn't take this long, but I guess today was that draining because it's starting to kick my butt. I'm gonna end the stream here. I'm gonna save it. Next stream, which is Thursday. We're doing another stream. I will be streaming this again. We'll be working on this some more. But yeah, woof. I'll just take my meds later. Normally it takes, like I said, 2-3 hours. Today it's hitting me after a little over an hour and a half. So I learned a lesson today. Maybe we'll try some more upbeat vibes. I know these lo-fi ones are great. I might try a more upbeat or cultivate a more upbeat playlist tomorrow. That isn't so lo-fi and possibly lulling me to sleep. So I do apologize so greatly, but I appreciate you being here with me. I appreciate you being here on this journey with me. This is actually some pretty cool stuff that we're learning here. And I look forward to being able to take everything we've learned and start building stuff with it. This is pretty easy stuff. Oh, I will work on making some changes to the stream overlay and stuff like that. I'll actually remember to put the text and stuff down there. I'll spend some time tomorrow working through some of that stuff. And yeah, I'll see y'all Thursday. Y'all have a great evening. Make some great coding stuff. That's lame as fuck, but